My name is Kathy Radisch. I live in Ottawa, Ontario. I'm from the US. We moved here when I was 4 years old, and I really probably never want to go back to the States, but anything is possible. So I'm leaving Ottawa this week. We bought a house out in Renfrew, and I'm looking forward to moving into the country again, which is where I grew up in the valley. Yeah, so I am a mom of 3 kids who are now, the youngest is 21 and has just moved out. So I'm officially an empty nester. I do have a full-time day job. I'm an admin for an engineering firm. I've been here for 10 years. And then on the side, I like to have some fun. So I sell 31 gifts as my little side gig. And I'm actually going to conference on the 19th of July, which is just a little over a week away. Great big pink festival in Columbus, Ohio. So 31 Gifts is a company out of the States. It's a direct sales company. We empower women by selling bags, basically. So it's a company built for women to give them a source of income, a source of encouragement, and rewarding them. But basically the company is bags, totes, organization bins, home decor, everything to make your life stylish, fashionable, and organized. Honestly, I liked the bags. I had no intentions of selling it. My friend was going to sign up and I was going to have a party for her. Unfortunately, she lives in Quebec, and like so many direct sales companies, they don't deal with Quebec. So I ended up joining, and she had the party for me instead. So it was for the personal discount for both of us when I first joined, but now it's just a great company to work for. For me personally, it's meeting so many other women because, like I said, husband, 3 boys, never got my daughter, no family here around here. So these ladies become my extended family and friends. Both consultants and clients. Yes. I'd love to build a team and help other women earn some money and, get the same rewards that I do. First of all, imagine a major city. You look down the street and there's a sea of pink t-shirts. We call it the pink bubble. We take over downtown Columbus, Ohio. But you meet so many amazing women, both on stage and, in the restaurants, during your travels. Everywhere you go, you meet these wonderful consultants from all over Canada and the US. You share their experiences and see where they've come from, and see that no matter what you're going through, you can get through it because they did too. It's hard because my courage muscle is still lacking too after 4 years with the company, and I've done other direct sales previously. But the first thing is, just offering them their starter kit for a personal discount. If they love the products that much, get your personal discount, share it with your friends, and see what happens. You either like it, you'd hate it. Either way, it's your choice to continue or not. You got nothing to lose. At most, you've got, $500 in products for $100 and maybe $150. Like, what are you going to lose? You've got all these great products that you were going to buy anyway. Yeah, I actually belong to 3 networking groups. 2 of them are for women only, and then 1 is for co-ed. So the one I met you at, I joined because I went to a meeting and I fell in love with the women there. They were so sincere and genuine. They were so welcoming. They were just a great bunch of ladies, and I've really become friends with some of them. I've only been in that group for about a year and a bit. I joined another networking group called WOW, World of Women. I joined when they first started here in Ottawa, so I've watched them grow. I've become really close to a lot of those ladies personally. And these 2 networking groups, even if they don't help me in my business, they really help me personally to grow. The women, though, is what I'm actually lacking in my life. Plus, as far as networking for my business, it is geared more to women than men. We have a few men's products, but it's geared more to women. So in that respect, it's better networking opportunities through the women's group. Absolutely. It's a great way to meet a ton of people without spending a lot of money and a lot of time. You meet a lot of people at one night. I loved my boys to death, and I swore that, you know, I could live like the Brown family in Alaska and have my kids with me forever. Yeah, I'm over it. I've had enough boys. So it was tough. Like, they fight a lot. They all three had learning disabilities. They all three had forms of depression or anxiety. There was 8 years between my first two, so there was a lot of resentment and jealousy there. And then all three have ADHD. So yeah, my hands were full. We're supposed to be perfect. We're looked at like we're supposed to be perfect every moment of every day, and it's not possible. We need to admit reality. So we need to admit that we need help from our family, from our friends, from, you know, everybody in our life can help us in some way or another, even if it's only advice. Oh yeah, I never asked for help for anything, any part of my life. So it's very difficult. Get help from your friends. Learn from my mistakes. Don't make them again. Exactly. Yeah. The good thing is your kids are now at an age where they might start getting along. My first two never did, and now they're finally, you know, they live in the apartments beside each other. They sometimes work together. You know, they're closer than they've ever been now that they're out of the house. It was actually a reality for me because I don't have family here, because I'm not close to my husband's family. I was alone, and I didn't know where to go to get help. And I knew my kids were different, but I didn't know how different they were. I just dealt with it. It's hard, and I think all we can do is just share our experiences with people. So my first son was diagnosed through the school with a learning disorder, and I took him to a private psychologist to be tested properly, and he did get resources. My second son, I knew something was wrong with him. It turns out he most likely 99% has Asperger's, but was never diagnosed. He was instead, you know, told he had all kinds of different problems. I again had him tested privately through my own plan. So he did finally get resources after the school, you know, read his diagnosis. My third son was a nightmare. We still don't know what's wrong with him. He was diagnosed with a learning disorder in grade 5. He was put on antidepressants and ADHD meds. We don't know what's wrong with him. We only know that the medications help. So none of them really got the real help that they needed. They never got a diagnosis. We don't know what's wrong with any of them. For my youngest son, I could have fought harder because I was given a choice of a 6-month waiting list to have his depression diagnosed, or a 3-year waiting list to find out what was really wrong with him. I took the short option. I maybe could have waited, but again, he may have killed himself. Like, what do you do? My oldest boy actually had a mental breakdown after he moved out. He went on a waiting list for 2 years to get a diagnosis after seeing a private psychologist. He was referred to the Royal Ottawa Mental Health Hospital. He never did get in. He's never been diagnosed. He does not know what's wrong with him. And he fought for himself. So, yeah, we probably could have done things differently, but who truly knows what differently we should have done? We don't know, because that is my story.
Yeah.
That got me where I am today. I will never forget the advice my doctor gave me when my first son was born. He said, "This is your baby. You know what's best. Don't listen to other people unless you think they're right." Probably just being there for me when life is overwhelming. Be willing to listen to me and offer your support.